It's in our moments of greatest distress that we must find it within ourselves to see that which is difficult to see. It's when things seem hopeless, tragic. It's when we feel lost that we forget a universal truth. Behind every struggle, no matter how big, there is a win, an answer, an opportunity for recreation. See, it's very easy in the midst of a storm to forget that it will pass. The dark skies block out the light, so we forget the warmth of the sun. And the wind and the rain, it forces us inside, so we forget the perfection that is simply breathing in the cool air. We forget that all storms have one thing in common. They come and they go. They are temporary. And what they leave is hope, answers, the clearest, brightest of skies. See, I'm not asking you to see something that's not there. I'm not asking you to imagine or live a life of make-believe. I'm reminding you of what you already know exists behind those clouds. Better days, your solution, your victory. I'm asking you to look to precedent. Because every day leading up to now has had its adversity. The road to the current moment was paved with trials and tribulations, and what you've done every day until now is figure it out. Find a way. How many times do you have to prove to yourself that you have what it takes, that you'll be okay, that within the depths of your soul are answers to any and every problem that you face? I know things aren't easy. Maybe they even seem bigger, scarier, more overwhelming than they ever have. But as adversity grows, so does your resilience. And I'm not sitting here giving you something new or an answer you didn't already possess. All I'm doing is reminding you how incredible you are, how much you've already overcome, and how capable you are of conquering whatever is next. Sometimes in life, the difference between okay and great, or stagnation and growth, it is only a change in perspective. It is how you look at the world and your place within it, that little voice in your head reminding you that you are capable of things beyond your current comprehension, that your perceived best is a fraction of what you're capable of. Reality is manageable. It's always manageable. It's the fear that if we let it, will be our demise. And life's too short to bow down to a monster that doesn't even really exist, that we created ourselves. So let's commit to being the ones who find calm when others panic, and see opportunity where others see hardship, and see what can be gained when others remain fixated on what has been lost. I love to simplify, to find clarity in that which appears overwhelming and complex. So here's the formula. You minus negative thoughts equals infinite possibility. You are capable of handling anything life throws at you in terms of potential and resources and ability. You can overcome. The only thing that can make a situation debilitating or permanent is you deciding it so. Therefore, the obstacle will never be life. It will be your thoughts about life. Your thoughts determine how you react. That is reality. Is it a lost job? or an opportunity to begin again, to grow, to fall in love with something you've always wanted to do? Is it lost time, loneliness, tragic seclusion, or a chance to write chapter 1 of your book, scene 1 of your movie, lay the first brick of what will become your empire? I've been sad and I've been happy, and I've been broke and I've had money, and I've felt alone and I've felt loved. But through it all, every step, every trial, every tribulation, I've come out stronger, battle-hardened, cognizant of the fact that happiness was a choice. Money is reacquirable, that some people go, but the ones that matter stay a part of you forever. Life is a gift. It's a gift when things are hard. It is a gift when they are easy. It is always a gift. So don't let your losses define you. If you get back up, it is nothing short of a victory. Armor that you now wear as you make your way into the world. A world that can push you down, but it certainly can't keep you there. Not if you don't let it. For your mind, your body, your soul, made of the same elements that surround you, the same stars comprising the universe, they have equipped you to weather any storm, outlast any earthly dilemma, do anything and be anyone. Never forget that. Never forget who you are. Welcome to Your World Within Daily, episode 3. Today, we're going to talk about doubt, that thing that creeps into everything we do, the little voice in the back of your head that says, maybe it's not good enough, maybe it's not worth it, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. That is not an anomaly, right? It's not the exception, it's the rule. The question is, how do you handle that? As a creator, whether I'm making videos, writing speeches, producing content, whatever it is I'm doing, at some point along the way, it never fails. There's always that voice that comes up, a lot of times halfway through the process, that says, dude, this is not good. Move on. Move on to the next thing. There's that doubt, there's that fear of rejection, how it's going to be received. On my YouTube channel, one of the, it might be, I think the second most viewed YouTube video I've ever done. It's called 5 Ways a Morning Run Will Change Your Life. And basically I was just reading a blog post that I'd written and just talking about 5 ways that a morning run sort of rewires your brain, positions you for success throughout your day, right? And I remember having that done and listening to it and thinking, like, my metric for a good video is the emotional, like, is it captivating? Do I literally feel like it hit me hard enough that I want to cry, that I want to go out and make change? Am I that inspired? And I was listening to this particular video and I'm like, this is terrible. Like, it sounds like I'm reading. I don't think it's gonna hit home for people. There were a million things that I just, I had it saved in a folder, and, someone at the time was like, why would you let it sit there? Just put it out. Like, you're being a wimp. And I was taken aback by that comment, because it's like, how do you even compare the two? But that's what it is, right? It's, there is no perfectionist. There's only one who is scared to put their product, to share their voice, to give something to the world for fear of criticism.
right? But greatness is being bold enough in your action and your decisions to work on something you believe in, release it, analyze the results, refine it, and repeat. That recipe right there will change your life. Right? Create, release, refine, repeat. It's the only way to get better. But through every single process, that fear of falling short, that doubt creeping in, it can be crippling. And so it's almost like you learn to dance with that. You learn to disregard it. Because the worst case scenario is not putting something out, releasing something, creating a video, a business, telling a story that's not well received. Who cares? That's part of life. In fact, if you are great in any area, you will have definitionally screwed up along the way. You will have had to have paid that price. Right? Taken your L's, done your learning. The only way to lose is to do nothing. And I'm telling you, I've done it. I've had ideas. I've had creations that I withheld because I didn't realize at the time that that's the only way to lose. People's reception, people's criticism of your work can only make you stronger. And I bring up that running video, a few minutes back, because it's not just like I put it out and learned a lesson, but I released it anyway, and it's brought millions of people to my ecosystem, shown my brand to millions of people across the world, and I almost didn't put it out. It's a current theme in my work, the idea of almost. The idea of almost writing a best-selling book, right? Stopping before you start, depriving yourself of what could be. There are no almost bestsellers. There are bestsellers, right? And there are people who didn't pick up the pen. If J.K. Rowling doesn't write that book, there's no Harry Potter, right? And like every single author, there's stories about publishers turning her down again and again and again and again. Right? There's value. There's so much power in trusting yourself to release, to share yourself, your gift, your voice, your message with the world, and refining. Don't be afraid to lose. My teammate in college, he was a captain. When I was, I believe, a sophomore, he was a captain. And he said, he was a senior. He said, victories are like stacks of paper, sheets of paper, right? Sometimes you can't see them. And that's what it feels like when I spend, weeks on something, or, create something that I think is going to be revolutionary. This is going to help so many people. This is going to grow my business. This is going to change the dynamic of my day-to-day. And then I get it out to the world, and the reality is, it was a swing and a miss. No one cared. Sometimes that happens. But now I know why. Now I can look, dissect what worked, what didn't, and come back stronger. That short-term loss is a sheet of paper that when you stack them up over time becomes something you stand on. It becomes the difference. So when that doubt comes in, when it whispers in your head that you're not good enough, that there's no payoff, that someone else will do it better, that it's too scary, it's too dangerous, it's just not worth it. That's not a stopping sign. Right? That's not a reason to quit. It's par for the course. It's the price you pay. It's the quarter you put in to get the gumball out. Right? Accept it, understand what it is, remove the emotion, and continue forward. Right? Because you know, if you're thinking rationally, it's the right move. I heard a great metaphor about this. It was understanding why we fear the things we fear, why we cherish the safety and the status quo, right? Why we're intrinsically drawn towards that. Because biologically, right, back in the day, there's a dark cave. You walk in, there's very little upside. You can be eaten by a bear. There's ruffling in the leaves behind you. Curiosity kills you. Being bold can cost you your life. I talked about this in the last episode. We are where we are. We've evolved, we've procreated, we've survived because we've acted a certain way. Caution has aided us. But society's changed quicker than our biological makeup. Right? We have the same brains relatively we did 10,000 years ago. But the world looks a lot different. We're not going into dark caves now. We're not tackling tigers. Now we're worried about people that don't even know us criticizing us. Being ostracized from a group in 2020 does not mean death. Right now, generally, it's the inverse. If you have the courage to move away from the pack, you're doing something that has a higher probability of making a difference. It's just different. Same brain, different context. Different world. So remember that. Expect the doubt. Expect the voice telling you it's too dangerous. And appreciate it. Because that means you are on the right track.